We need to approve the minutes of July 19th, 2011. You have a copy in your packet. I have reviewed them, and Jeannie has reviewed them for correctness. And do I have a motion to approve? Have a motion, Master Dodson, second from Master Robinson. Have a roll call vote, please.
Master Anderson.
Yes.
Master Johnson. Master Murphy. Master Robinson. Master Dodson.
Yes.
Master Harris. Judge Rutherford.
Yes. We have an elected official whose mother passed away, Lonnie Osborne. His mother, Lorraine, passed away. Lonnie's dad was a member of this court, and was a magistrate in District 2 back in the back in the 70s. So we certainly want to keep the Osborne family in our prayers, and also have a moment of silence, please. Thank you.
When she died?
Died yesterday. Yeah, I didn't know till this morning. At Lucas and Hall. The thanks you'll be out tonight and tomorrow night, and the funeral is Thursday. Yep. Yes, she has. We have an update report for you on the EQT, progress of the EQT project. Charles Carlton's present, and we'll go through that. You can follow it on your monitor. You also have in your packet the same thing that's on your monitor. So you will have a copy to take with you. As you know, the EQT project has been underway for some time, and this will give you an insight into this project. Once this project is completed, under the state memorandum of agreement with EQT, it will create 100 new jobs in the area that EQT serves in eastern Kentucky and 1 or 2 or 3 counties in Virginia. The average salary, I understand from EQT, will be $50,000 a year. There are 2 buildings on this. One is under construction, as you'll notice. The other, the foundation, is in. The office building will be 28,500 square foot building, and the adjacent building will be an 8,000 square foot warehouse, and it sits on 18 acres. This project is 4 days ahead of schedule today, and expect to move in sometime late January, early February. The groundbreaking was held in December 2010, and the site preparation contract that the court let to Cottle and Company was completed. And as you noticed, as the site prep was done, then you will see from what's on this video if you see this video, you'll see what it's on this 18 acres, and you'll see the pad at the top. That's where the warehouse building will go. It's coming in on it. You'll notice on the other side that there was a hole in the ground. Of course, at that time, that's where the elevator was to be constructed. So a lot of work has gone on over there, and this is when the foundation was being prepared for it.
Do we have to do this on the agenda?
Then the county was funded to improve the interior road to the park, and that'll be coming up next on this video. There's an awful lot of property up there, if you'll notice, on it. This is a road that will be improved so that the heavy traffic of hauling, they'll be hauling, probably be 18-wheelers will be hauling into this warehouse, and pipe, heavy trucks. So that will be, I think they're building that to about 8 inches. 8 inches on the road. It will be widened, and it will have good access to the park. Now here's the building last week. The building is up, getting ready to do matter of fact, Charles, I think they're getting ready to be starting on the exterior soon. We have been told by the contractor that the elevator shaft goes up one more floor, so I presume that we can expect EQT to add another floor on this before the construction period ends. Electricity is in place on site, and you'll see that it ends at this pole, but it goes underground from here into the EQT buildings and warehouse. Sewer plant will be bid. It has been bid. It'll be open tomorrow. So the sewer plant, water is already to the site. Gas, they will use gas naturally. They're the third largest producer of natural gas in the United States. And matter of fact, they own a well nearby, and they own half of a well on site. Kinzer owns half of a well, and they own half of a well. So they will be using natural gas. Now here is the building as it will look once it's completed. And supposedly, if they stay on schedule, and looks like they can, of course, they've got some snow days and rain days built into their contract. But this is how this is going to look in a few months. So it's we're glad that we're able to do that. Charles Carlton has been in contact and has been meeting with another energy company to locate their regional headquarters in this Scott Fork Energy Park. So hopefully that will come to fruition in the future, and that we can have another energy company be across Charles to that. Also, on the same side is the America's Energy Institute. We have a meeting coming tomorrow evening, Jenny, next Tuesday at Pikeville College. Ken Nemeth, who did our energy strategy, is returning to the county with a meeting with Governor Patton and others in regard to the research center of University of Pikeville, who will participate in that center. We just returned recently from a trip to Blacksburg, where Virginia Tech will be a part of this facility. We also made a trip to Columbus, Ohio, where Battelle Institute, which will become a part of this partnership or consortium of group of schools and private enterprise. Also, they are a training component to that, and that will be handled by the Kentucky Coal Academy. Also, the University of Kentucky will be contacted. They have a new president. Governor Patton will be meeting with them in regard to this research center on that site. This center has been funded. The Pike County Fiscal Court was funded some three years ago, and even to the point of 85% design. When Wall Street fell, this project was put on hold, but it has been put back on the front burner, and hopefully we'll go ahead and move this forward. Also, another component to it is to bring the hardwoods back into Central Appalachia. And this is one that when we was in Washington some time ago, that the Appalachian Regional Commission said that they wanted to put some funds into this because they felt the hardwoods ought to be put back into the forest. As we're aware, what happened over the years as they got mining permits to mine on top of our mountains, they cut their hardwoods and was not required to put them back. They was required only to put back quick-growing vegetation. So that facility is being worked on. It won't be done tomorrow, next year, or maybe the next year, but you have to start somewhere. University of Pikeville is not presently able with their infrastructure to take on a total project of this. That's the reason we're putting all these others together. And we're anxious to meet with Ken Nemeth. This was not my idea or vision. It was Ken Nemeth's. One to be in western coal fields in Wyoming and one to be in the eastern coal fields of the United States in Pike County, Kentucky, America's energy capital. So we're anxious to have that meeting next Tuesday evening and to proceed from there. We also will be busy. When do we go to Frankfurt, Jeannie? For about Friday, this Friday, and we will have 5 meetings in regard to our development up in Magistrate Robinson and Magistrate Murphy's district on top of the mountain from Furls Creek down. That will be, and then we follow up with a meeting on Monday. We'll be back in Frankfurt for a meeting on Monday, and then we go to Louisville to meet with HUD in regard to the housing situation that we have in the county, and the fact that we will have about more than 2,000 acres in the future that's owned by Pike County, that people could be moved out of the floodplain with our mitigation program, since we have some place to put them. So that is the update. Charles, do you have anything you need to add to that? Any questions in regard to that? If not, we will move on, and we need a motion to acknowledge receipt of the Big Sandy Ad District budget. That'll be fine. Let me say this, that what we're going to Frankfurt on is something that the ad district is involved with us, and they will be filing the applications for funding in the future for the property that becomes available on new 460, because it will have a great impact on the whole area of eastern Kentucky.
I don't have any comments regarding these two budgets, but it is the budget for the Big Sandy Area Development District for fiscal year 2012, and also the budget for the Big Sandy Regional Industrial Authority, which Pike County is a part, for fiscal year 2012.
Madam Clerk, did you get both of those?
Judge, I make a motion to acknowledge.
A motion by Magistrate Anderson, to have a second by Magistrate Murphy. Have a roll call vote, please.
Magistrate Anderson?
Yes.
Magistrate Johnson? Magistrate Murphy? Magistrate Robinson? Magistrate Dodson?
Yes.
Magistrate Harris?
Yes.
Judge Rutherford?
Yes. Mrs. Runyon, thank you, and I know that by being a member of the board, that we are very fortunate to have Mr. Whiting, who's a CPA, who certainly gives the board a complete, detailed update at every meeting.
That he does, Judge.
Yes.
He gives a very comprehensive financial report at each meeting. If I could, Judge, have 1 minute, I'd just like to remind everyone, I know that most of you or some of you are going to Local Issues Conference in Louisville, and I had presented to you before a date on Tuesday preceding that conference for a candidates forum that is being sponsored by the Kentucky Council of Ads. It is going to be a very good forum. It's the only statewide candidates forum that will take place before November elections, and all of the candidates have confirmed to be there. It will start at 1 o'clock on Tuesday preceding local issues, and we expect that it will finish about 5 o'clock with a reception And as I said, all the candidates have confirmed to be there. If you are going, if you will register through the Area Development District, we will pay for that. It's a $30 fee, I think, to attend, and we will pay for whomever goes from the district for that
Jeannie,
conference.
will
But
you
it'll be a
handle
really
that
good
if
one.
anybody calls and is going, Jeannie will be glad to register you.
Thank you, Judge.
If you need to vote.
We got it.
So Sandy, you'll have to have a ticket to get in?
We have also been presented with and needed to acknowledge the receipt of the 2011 Board of Health tax rate. Now, we don't set the tax rate. They set their own tax rate under the Kentucky statute. We only acknowledge receipt of it. Have a motion. We have a motion. Have a second. Got a motion and a second. Second by Mr. Johnson to acknowledge receipt of the 2011 Board of Health tax rate.
We got it.
Madam Clerk.
Mr. Anderson? Mr. Johnson? Mr. Murphy? Mr. Robinson? Mr. Dodson?
Yes.
Mr. Harris?
Yes.
Judge Rutherford?
Yes. Mr. County Attorney, I think that we need to have the first reading of the reapportionment ordinance to comply. I think you had advised us to comply with Kentucky statute. And I think you had done some work on that. And I think, Frankie, you all would be ready to answer any question the magistrate may have after next week. Yes, okay.
Judge, this is the first reading of an ordinance of the Fiscal Court of Pike County, Kentucky relating to reapportionment of magisterial districts. Whereas proceedings for the reapportionment of magisterial districts within Pike County, Kentucky, having been duly initiated as required by KRS 67.045, and whereas the written report of the Pike County Reapportionment Committee was filed with the Pike County Clerk on July 14, 2011, and each member of the Pike County Fiscal Court on July 14, 2011, and whereas said written report having been considered by the Pike County Fiscal Court and hereby incorporated by reference, and the recommendations of the Pike County Reapportionment Committee are hereby accepted and approved, and consistent with same, the following districts are adopted. Now therefore be it ordained by the Fiscal Court of the County of Pike, Commonwealth of Kentucky, Section 1, the magisterial districts are established as follows. District number 1 shall consist of a population of 11,314 and shall be comprised of the following precincts: Bessie Riddle Arnold, Hurricane, Lower Pike, Myers Tower, Coal Run, Mullen School, Brushy, Lower Johns Creek, Island Creek. District 2 shall consist of a population of 10,707 and shall be comprised of the following precincts: Caney, Yeager, Old Shelby, Long Fork, Dorton, Elwood, York Part 1. District number 3 shall consist of a population of 10,683 and shall be comprised of the following precincts: Mouthguard, Upper Elkhorn, Elkhorn City Hall, Belcher, Raccoon, Rasnick, Lick Creek, Grapevine, Feds Creek, Looney, Burning Fork, Pikeville High School. District number 4 shall consist of a population of 11,146 and shall be comprised of the following precincts: Millard, Greasy Creek, Upper Clory, Marbone, Rock House, New Shelby, Garden Village, Henry Clay, Hellier, York Part 2, Ash Camp, Bypass. District number 5 shall consist of a population of 10,647 and shall be comprised of the following precincts: Phelps, Blackberry, Deskins, Freeburn, Majestic, Wolford, Meta, Joes Creek, McCarr, Stone Cove. District number 6 shall consist of a population of 10,527 and shall be comprised of the following precincts: Belfry, Lower Big Creek, Dr. J.E. Johnson, Bevan School, Runyon, Turkey Creek, Huddy, Old Pine. Section 2, the districts as indicated above shall correspond with the maps and precincts attached to the original as presented in court, which are hereby adopted by reference. Section 3, this ordinance shall be in full force and effect from and after its passage, approval, recording, and publication as required by law. That is the first reading, Judge, and to be duly advertised.
Thank you, Mr. County Attorney.
Only thing I got, which is one and which one's two?
One is the bigger of the two.
I say that's true. Which way to go up there? Go this way.
Charles will be back and have the map.
If you're this way, it'll be right here. Which way to go? I don't know.
Charles will be back and he can show you on the map. That's the reason. Next Monday.
Next Monday, Charles is on vacation. He'll have the map ready for everybody. Any other questions? Awarding of bids, Mr. Stacy.
I've got one bid to present to the court. It's bid number 35. It's a rebid of drilled steel retainer in place. We've received 5 bids. Hinkle Contracting of Lexington, bid price $55.95 a foot. Blue Ridge Enterprise of Williamson, West Virginia, $35 a foot. Natco Incorporated of Stanville, $31.90 per foot. Chris Isaac Drilling of Salyersville, $31.75 per foot. And Norson Enterprises of Freeburn, $30.99 per foot. It's recommended to award the bid to the lowest bidder, which was Norson Enterprise, having a lowest evaluated bid price of $30.99 per linear foot. And also, due to time constraints on flood work, any of the other contractors that can match the lowest bid price be approved backup biders.
You heard the recommendation. Do you have a motion? I have a motion to approve. I have a motion, and have a second. I have a second. Magistrate Robinson, have a roll call vote, please.
Magistrate Anderson?
Yes.
Magistrate Johnson? Magistrate Murphy? Magistrate Robinson? Magistrate Dodson?
Yes.
Magistrate Harris?
Yes.
Judge Rutherford?
Yes. Magistrate's road work.
Motion.
Motion, Magistrate Anderson. I have a second by Magistrate Johnson. Have a roll call vote, please.
Magistrate Anderson?
Yes.
Magistrate Johnson? Magistrate Murphy? Magistrate Robinson? Magistrate Dodson? Magistrate Harris?
Yes.
Judge Rutherford?
Yes. Magistrate comment, Magistrate Anderson.
Judge, I've got a couple things I need to, I've got a little shelter over at Golden Era Fire Department we were going to build. And then we were going to, I think, try to help Mullins Elementary School with a ball court with some severance tax money. And I'd spoken to Roland, and both projects will be under the $20,000 bid, but I just wanted to get court approval because we're trying to get that done as soon as we can.
Have a motion by Magistrate Anderson to let him proceed with his work at the park. Is it at the?
Yeah, it's over at Lower Johns Creek, at the Golden Era Fire
Lower
Department.
Johns Creek.
Do we have quotes or anything from any?
Well, Phil's going to, I've got a quote on the, it's an older quote on the ball court at Mullins, and I'm in the process of getting some more. I'm probably going to get 2 or 3. Then I think Phil's going to try to help me find somebody to, we're going to try to get 2 or 3 different contractors. But it'll be under the $20,000. It's not going to be a big shelter.
Have a motion, have a second, proceed. Magistrate Murphy, have a roll call vote, please.
Magistrate Anderson?
Yes.
Magistrate Johnson? Magistrate Murphy? Magistrate Robinson? Magistrate Dodson?
Yes.
Magistrate Harris?
Yes.
Judge Rutherford?
Yes. Magistrate Anderson. You have something else? No, that's it. Okay. Magistrate Johnson.
I've got a thing here, me and Rose about 4 or 5 years ago. They say it got lost in the shuffle somehow. 550 private, World War II, 1924, got given award July 11, 1944. On the bridge up on 84th, it's the 4th Concord in the they call it 84th on up to they call it Buckley in that part. You remember this road when we took this up?
Yeah.
Well, I'd like to have that bridge.
Well, let's make,
That bridge up the mouth of 54. I'd like to have it named after him.
let's make sure that happens this time, Hatch. let's make sure that it's, since he brought it back up and since it seems it's very deserving, somebody's,
Yeah. Right.
so that's on a, is that on a county road?
County road.
So that, we can handle that, and they can make the signs in-house, and you can set the ceremony up with the family.
They want the ceremony set up because
And Jeannie will help you, Jeannie will,
we're gonna have a good crowd there, county.
Brandon and Jeannie will handle that and set it up, and we'll see that that happens. That's Private Clyde Bentley. Magistrate Murphy.
Yes, Judge. I don't know if anybody else got flooded last week, but I got hit pretty hard again on all the haulers on Elkhorn Creek and Pond out there. So we've been working the roads and things since last Monday on flooding from the rain last week.
Yeah, you all got more rain than any other section of the county, especially in Dorton and Elkhorn Creek the other day. Magistrate Dotson.
Judge, last meeting, Frankie wasn't here, and we discussed bidding out a filter system for the Freeburn swimming pool. And Damus was going to try to do that. Do you know whether or not? Judge, it's got one more little thing I don't know. John, do we have any money for the senior citizen centers over at Blackberry? They have a dishwasher that went down. I got a call on the way over here, and I think it's going to be, what, Carl, about $3,500?
I don't know if there's anything in those line items from coal severance monies that's been appropriated or not. I'd have to look. I didn't bring an appropriation ledger down today. I
Seemed
can
to me
check.
like there was some coal severance money last year, Rhonda, for improvements for the Blackberry senior citizen building.
I would have to check. I'll check on that.
But I think is that what it is, Carl? He said the motor and the pump had went down on it, and they would need to try to get that replaced. And Frank, did you get a chance to meet with Randy today and the coal company over at Bevins Branch on repairing that road?
No.
I know Randy was supposed to meet with them, the road foreman, and see what they could do to get that road repaired where they come out on the state road out of Bevins
Oh,
Branch.
at Bevins Branch?
Yeah.
No, I contacted last week, and then he told me he was going to meet with him. I didn't talk to him this evening to see if he got up with them.
I know he met with Ruth today, and she gave him a price on
Okay. I'll get a hold of him first thing in the morning and see what.
to fix it. I know it's getting in bad shape up through there.
Right.
Judge, that's all I have.
Hey, Magistrate Hart.
Just a couple things, Judge. One, Frank, this picking on you today. This is Pico Holla. You had come over and looked at that road before the gas company came up there to drill the wells. It was a road that had been recently resurfaced, and our agreement with them was that after they ran their vehicles across it, that they would repair it to as good a condition as it was when they brought their trucks across it, because they have very heavy vehicles that are driving the road, and it does have some damage.
Okay.
So I guess we'd like for you to get in contact with EQT, because you had some
I'll get a hold of
connections
Steve
there
Schultz.
that you knew whoever it was that we were dealing with at the
Right.
time. You knew them well and were comfortable that they would live up to their word. So.
I'll take care of it in the morning.
Okay, I appreciate it. We also, Judge, have a couple of roads, and I left the petitions down in my car. I'll go get them when we take a break and bring them back. But before the court concludes, I'd like to present those two road
Madam Clerk,
petitions.
we'll get those to you.
while you're working on them gas, Randy said that they had done some damage, I believe, in Gabriel, and they'd promised to fix the roads back.
Yeah, I don't think they're through yet up there, but while I've got Steve talking to him in the morning, I'll double check on that, because as soon as they finish fracking them or bringing stuff in, I'll take care of that too.
All right.
Madam Treasurer.
Judge, I'd like to start off by clarifying a statement that Commissioner Wilder made at the KCJEA KMCA conference in July. He expressed to the audience that they had received the largest quarterly deposit they had seen. They did, but we did not reciprocate that. I had Kim Tompkins to send me a little note. It says, and that's the top of my stuff I've passed out. It shows our coal severance and mineral. Then she says, hello, here is a little information for you. First and most importantly, although we received the largest quarterly deposit she has seen, the increase is based on increase in price, not production. Overall production has seen a decline and price is driving the increase. I am attaching the list of appropriations which have seen an increase with the new year and a breakdown of how the money's divided up. All of this is on the coal side only, and she'll be doing a workshop on coal severance fundamentals at the Governor's Local Issues Conference, August 17th through the 19th, if anybody wants or needs to attend. Attached is the legislative appropriations for the fiscal years 11 and 12 that'll show monies off the top deductions, off the middles, multi-county, House Bill 406, Part 5, Expendable Trust, for the total appropriations from these funds. We get basically, on the second page, it looks like about 15% returned to us. Shows less local government economic assistance fund. In saying that, we budgeted $4.6 million in coal severance. Our check for the quarter that we received in July was $1,267,587.01, which is 28% of what we had budgeted. Last year we received $1,294,000, so it's down about $27,000. You can live within that. But our mineral severance may cause us some problems. We budgeted exactly what we received last year, $3,504,233. Our first check this month, or this quarter, was $837,742.83, which is down $220,000 from last year. And if you look at 10, 11, and 9, 10 fiscal years, our largest check was the check we received in July, and everything was downhill from there. That is 24% of what we have budgeted, which would give us an average of 27% collected at this point. But I wouldn't take 2% to the bank to spend, because I think we're in trouble on mineral severance this year. It looks like it's going to be down.
Well, it looks like it will continue to go downhill, and that's the reason we had a $5.2 million shortfall, 3.2, excuse me, a shortfall in this budget year.
Whenever I had called and Kim Tompkins, she was at the switchboard, and she said, when I get to my desk, I'll send you the numbers. I haven't calculated. But this is the largest quarterly deposit I've seen. I'm thinking, we've just laid a bunch of people off. We've cut back, and we're going to probably get big checks. And then when I saw this, I was like, uh-oh, every other county must be doing better than we are, because we're not reaping the benefits at this point from the largest deposit. So I just want to give you all, and Leo called yesterday and he said, Commissioner Wilder had said this, and he was excited, and I'm like, let me burst your bubble right now, because it's not good news. Okay, let's move on to my agenda. Authorizing necessary transfers and interfund transfers to pay the bills, payroll, health, and life insurance.
Have a motion and second. Have a second. Have a roll call vote, please.
Mr. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Johnson? Mr. Murphy? Mr. Robinson? Mr. Dodson? Mr. Harris? Judge Rutherford?
Yes.
Pass over the next two items on the agenda of the previous transfers and interfund and the financial statement. I need you to authorize a check for $175 for Judge Rutherford to attend the Appalachian Regional Commission's Healthy Families, Healthy Future Conference at Jenny Wiley State Resort Park in Prestonsburg, Kentucky, September 7th through the 9th, 2011, and if anybody else wishes to attend.
Have a motion, Master Robinson. Have a second. Have a roll call vote, please.
Mr. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Johnson? Mr. Murphy? Mr. Robinson? Mr. Dodson? Mr. Harris? Judge Rutherford?
Yes.
Authorized lodging for Marley Coleman for October 24th, 2011 through October 27th, 2011 for wastewater class 1 for certification review and/or examination in London, Kentucky.
Have a motion. Motion for Master Robinson. Have a second. Have a second. Have a roll call vote, please.
Mr. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Johnson? Mr. Murphy? Mr. Robinson? Mr. Dodson? Mr. Harris?
Yes.
Judge Rutherford?
Yes.
Authorize a check for $27,300.33 to Elliott Contracting Incorporated for application number 8 and final payment for the Greasy Creek Community Center.
Motion, Master Robinson. Have a second. Have a second, Master Johnson. Have a roll call vote, please.
Mr. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Johnson? Mr. Murphy? Mr. Robinson? Mr. Dodson?
Yes.
Mr. Harris?
Yes.
Judge Rutherford?
Yes.
Authorize a check for $225 to the law firm of Linda K. Ain for the 8th Annual Kentucky Cable and Telecommunications Conference dated August 23rd, 2011 for R. Roland Case, Assistant County Attorney, to attend.
The Assistant County Attorney is going to attend that. They're going to come back and then have a work session with myself and the magistrates or whoever who else wants to attend in regard to getting ready for the cable TV franchise that comes up in 2013. Have a motion.
Motion.
You'll be going on, what's the date of that, Roland?
August 23rd.
August 23rd. Have a motion. Have a motion and have a second. Have a second. Magistrate Johnson, have a roll call vote, please. Authorize the county attorney to go to a meeting for us.
Mr. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Johnson? Mr. Murphy? Mr. Robinson? Mr. Dodson? Mr. Harris? Judge Rutherford?
Yes.
There's another thing, one reason I'm interested, bring this up right now, while I got it on my mind. Let's start going, people up there, like I said, community center. Bikes, you know, for things, you know, so they can show, things on our TV. And just some coast like that. Now, TV outfit down there, asking us $5,000 to run a line. Is that right? Actually, 500 to 6,000. I don't think that's right.
Mr. County Attorney, we probably need to keep that in mind as we start dealing with that company and see if, are there anything in our franchise presently, Mr. County Attorney, that we could look at?
They provide the first 150-foot drop from the last connection for free, but anything after that, you got to pay for the line, which is $2 a foot. And they went out and measured it, and they said it's about like a quarter mile. You can see it from the 4-lane down to there, but it's about a quarter mile, and they're making you pay for the line to get it there. Once you get the wire to the building, it's free cable, you know, because it's a county building, but they're going to make you pay for the line.
Mr. Stacy, what's the other option? Is a satellite? And Pike TV will be, as soon as the equipment gets in, they will be on the satellite, so they can even pick that up there. So Magistrate Johnson, let's take a look at the, see what a satellite will cost up there and get them a satellite put in. Well, I said it's, I know, they're, and if you call them, you have to call out of state to talk with them. Would you get me that information tomorrow and let me talk to them down there? Do that tomorrow, and I'll be glad to do that. And Jeannie, you make sure that I get a hold of Magistrate Johnson and tell him what we find out. Yeah. Well, they need to show a lot of their pictures and stuff. And we'll help on that. Brandon, he says that what they want up to this facility is to be able to show pictures. So we'll need to make sure we get them a list of what they need if we go for a satellite.
You just need pictures. You just have to have a TV. And
We can have the TV and the
audio, video boards to hook into.
Master Johnson, we'll see if we can help you figure out what we can do to get them something they can use up there immediately. Okay.
Authorize a check for $300 for registration for Rachel Isaacs and Doug Tackett for the Kentucky Emergency Services Conference, September 6th through the 9th, 2011 in Louisville, Kentucky, and authorize lodging for Rachel Isaacs at the Crown Plaza Airport because Doug's is paid for.
Have a motion? Have a motion? Have a second? Have a second? Have a roll call vote, please.
Mr. Anderson. Mr. Johnson. Mr. Murphy. Mr. Robinson. Mr. Dodson. Mr. Harris. Judge Rutherford.
Yes.
Authorize a check for $100 to the Kentucky Emergency Management Association for the 2011-2012 KEMA membership dues for 3 members, which is Doug, Rachel, and CJ.
Do I have a motion? Have a motion, Master Murphy. Have a second. Have a second. Have a roll call vote, please.
Mr. Anderson. Mr. Johnson. Mr. Murphy. Mr. Robinson. Mr. Dodson. Mr. Harris. Judge Rutherford.
Yes.
Authorize a check for $24,845.50 to the Appalachian News Express for advertising the delinquent taxes for the 2010 year. This is $5,149.70 less than last year's advertisement.
And that money is in the budget?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Motion, Master Murphy. Have a second. Have a second. Have a roll call vote, please.
Mr. Anderson. Mr. Johnson. Mr. Murphy. Mr. Robinson. Mr. Dodson. Mr. Harris.
Yes.
Judge Rutherford.
Yes.
Authorize that a check be issued to the LGDF fund for the Coca-Cola check. It was accidentally deposited into the consolidated account in the amount of $12,477.50 to correct the error.
Need a motion to correct. Motion by Master Robbins, second by Master Murphy. Have a roll call vote, please.
Mr. Anderson. Mr. Johnson. Mr. Murphy. Mr. Robinson. Mr. Dodson. Mr. Harris.
Yes.
Judge Rutherford.
Yes.
Authorize registration fee of $75 in lodging for Judge Rutherford to attend the 12th annual KCJEA, and it's only for the judges. Fall membership retreat September 29th through the 30th, 2011 at Lake Barkley State Resort Park, Cadiz, Kentucky.
Have a motion. Have a motion. Have a second. Have a second. Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Anderson.
Motion.
Mr. Johnson. Mr. Murphy.
Second, third.
Mr. Robinson. Mr. Dodson. Mr. Harris. Judge
Yes.
Rutherford.
Yes.
And I need to know by Friday who all is attending the Governor's Local Issues Conference, because you have to send a check up front for the registration fee before August 10th of $150 for that registration. So I need to know before Friday who's going so I can get the check out on Monday. And also, let me remind you all, whenever we were getting the budget and making cutbacks, we cut the travel and registrations and training by 50%. So everybody needs to watch and see where we're at with paying all these fees and travel out.
Jonda, how much have we saved since we parked some of the vehicles?
Haven't looked at that yet.
Well, you was giving a report, I just didn't know where you. Bobby, you got any idea?
Probably. July should be coming in order to be paid in August. Authorize the judge to sign and submit a disbursement request in the amount of $364,929 to CAECO number 32 for worldwide equipment for 3 dump trucks when the lease closes and the funding's available on those tandems that we've leased for a
Have a
year.
motion. Got a motion? Have a second? Have a second. Have a roll call vote, please.
Mr. Anderson, Mr. Johnson, Mr. Murphy, Mr. Robinson, Mr. Dodson, Mr. Harris,
Abstain.
Judge Rutherford.
Yes.
I have no further business, Judge.
Magistrate
Wait,
Harris?
yes, I do.
Go
Jeannie
right
had
ahead,
leave this right here.
Madam Treasurer.
Zella Pearson had sent to Jeannie, says, "Good afternoon, Judge Rutherford and Fiscal Court." I believe y'all had a copy of it laying here. Attached is information concerning DLG, Department for Local Government, and DOC, which I would assume is Department of Corrections. Is that what DOC's for, Jeannie?
Jeannie's talking to you.
Is DOC Department of Corrections. Approved training for elected officials to be held at the Big Sandy Ad in September. If you have any questions or would like to register, please telephone or reply to this email. And it says that you have to register by August 12th. The minimum is 18 participants, maximum is 30 participants. Sandy, is it Department of Corrections? Okay, after I saw Big Sandy Ad. Approved by DLC and DOC for 28 hours. It's 4 days at the Big Sandy Ad, September 13th, 14th, 22nd, and 23rd, 8 o'clock to 4:30. It's $350 per person. No cancellations after invoicing, only 1 participant per the registration fee. Zella Pearson, Priority 1 Incorporated. Day 1, it says, is leadership skills, team building. Day 2 is communication, basic English. Day 3, presentation skills, professionalism, ethics and social responsibility, harassment, sexual and hostile environment. Day 4, interviewing and hiring, problem solving, and conflict resolution with different PowerPoints underneath each.
Madam Treasurer, with that registration fee, I would say with our budget, that we'll have to get our point somewhere else.
Okay.
Magistrate Harris, go into executive session.
I'll make a motion, we move into executive session pursuant to KRS 61, 810C and F to discuss specific personnel matters and pending or threatened litigation.
Have a second from Magistrate Anderson. Have a roll call vote, please.
Mr. Anderson.
Yes.
Mr. Johnson. Mr. Murphy. Mr. Robinson. Mr. Dodson. Mr. Harris.
Yes.
Judge Rutherford.
Yes. Have executive session back into regular session, please. Have a motion from Magistrate Robinson. Have a second. Have a roll call vote, please.
Mr. Anderson. Mr. Johnson. Oh, okay. Mr. Murphy. Mr. Robinson. Mr. Dodson. Mr. Harris.
Yes.
Judge Rutherford.
Present. We have a quorum. Magistrate Harris, I think we had something that you and Doug Tackett talked about on the mitigation situation over in your district.
There's a lady at the right fork of Pico Hollow who has had a slide behind her home that occurred in or around the last flood event that was declared a FEMA emergency. And she wants to participate in I believe it's a state program, isn't it, Doug?
It's a state and federal program. It's a hazard mitigation grant program.
Okay.
It's sponsored by FEMA and the state.
Okay. Can you explain that program a little bit for everybody?
Basically, for her to participate, the court would have to sponsor the application. We can do a letter of intent for her if the court wants to sponsor it. If it goes to application after it's reviewed, then there's probably 18-month period that it will go through. The federal will provide 75% of the cost. The state will do 12%, and she has agreed to do 13% of the cost so that the county wouldn't have to. If it is approved, then the property that is affected by the slide and repaired would become property of the county.
What you need is the permission to file a pre-app.
A letter of intent.
Mr. Harris?
And my understanding is that the county, after the repairs are made, she would get estimates as to what it costs to repair this slide area. And the slide would actually be repaired, and then the slide area would be turned over to the county, and the county would own that property.
That's correct, yes.
And this order would authorize the
What's that,
county
Jimmy?
judge executive to sign as sponsor.
And future problems.
And future problems?
If there were any more problems with that slide area, yeah, it would be the county's responsibility.
Mm-hmm. But, I mean, do either of you, I mean, both of you have been out to look at it. Do either of you have a recommendation as to whether or not we should participate in the program?
I don't know. I don't know what it would take to fix that slide. I really don't make it stable. I couldn't say one way or the other. I do know that the process that it will go through, if it does go to application, it'll have to go through a cost-benefit analysis, and they'll look at the cost of damages done and potential damage and see if the repairs, if it's beneficial to repair it. And that's a pretty stringent process to go through.
Well, I guess I'm looking, Jimmy, I mean, do you have any concerns about the county participating in the program?
I went up in there the other day to try to find it. I never did see it. I went way up through there. Yeah. Have you seen it, Doug?
Yeah, I've seen it.
Last time I saw it, was the next meeting. Give them an opportunity to go evaluate it.
Yeah, I've been there. I've had some pictures. I know it was affecting a double wide that was on the property, and I think they've taken it out because of the damage that was done to it. But it's still, they fear it's going to bother some other homes there if it keeps coming off.
So this is just a letter of intent, doesn't bind us to...
No, the letter of intent does not. If it goes to application, we'll be notified before we do that, and then you can, you'll have some more information to go by and make an informed decision.
County Attorney, do you have any objections? Just go for a pre-app and then take a look at it. We don't want to get into the problem on a slide.
I feel sorry for the lady in the slide that's come behind her home, and I want to help her, any way that we can. It doesn't sound like it's going to cost the county anything. It's just after the repairs are made, after the slide is stabilized, it sounds like we would then be responsible for the property. We'd then own the property and be responsible for it.
That's correct. And any problems?
Or the county would own it.
Yeah.
County would own it. So
responsible for it.
Yeah, I mean, so we would, I'm sure that whoever fixed it would need to be bonded and do this kind of work for, for a living. But I don't have a problem. I want to help. I mean, that's what we're here for, is to help people who need help. So I'll make the motion that we file a letter of intent to participate in the program on behalf of, I'm sorry, what was her?
Lisa Taylor.
Lisa Taylor from Right Fork of Pico Hollow.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Have a roll call vote, please.
Mr. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Johnson? Mr. Murphy? Mr. Robinson? Mr. Dodson? Mr. Harris?
Yes.
Judge Rutherford?
Mr. County Attorney.
Judge, these are the recommendations for personnel. Acknowledge the resignation and retirement of Donald Thacker as of July 29th, 2011. He's worked for the Fiscal Court as a solid waste driver since January 1984. Acknowledge the resignation of Jordan Smith as of July 19th, 2011. Approval for Bobby Mullins to transfer from supervisor of the solid waste cleanup crew to foreman for solid waste department at area number 5, replacing Paul Fraley at a 4A rate of pay. $50,273.60, $24.17 per hour plus longevity, effective August 3rd, 2011. Mr. Fraley retired on June 7th, 2011. And the other ones we'll do separately since they involve terminations, Judge. Those would be the Personnel Department's recommendations and yours.
Those are my recommendation and my motion. To have a second? Have a second? Second, Master Johnson. Have a roll call vote, please.
Master Anderson,
Yes.
Master Johnson, Master Murphy, Master Robinson, Master Dodson,
Yes.
Master Harris, Judge Rutherford.
Yes.
The next is approval to terminate Sheldon Ryan Atkins as of July 27th, 2011. He was a temporary mower driver and in his probationary period.
That's my recommendation and my motion. To have a second? Second, have a roll call vote, please.
Master Anderson,
Yes.
Master Johnson, Master Murphy, Master Robinson, Master Dodson,
No.
Master Harris,
No.
Judge Rutherford.
Yes.
Approval to terminate Charles Justice effective August 3rd, 2011. He's been off work since December 20th, 2010.
To comply with the county code is my recommendation and my motion. Have a second? Have a second? Have a roll call vote, please.
Master Anderson,
No.
Master Johnson,
Talking about Sheldon.
No, Charles
I'm
Justice.
sorry, Charles Justice.
Master Murphy, Master Robinson, Master Dodson,
No.
Master Harris,
No.
Judge Rutherford.
Yes.
Approval to terminate Louis G. Johnson as of July 29th, 2011. He works for the Public Works Department as a seasonal weed mower and would also be in his probationary period.
Based upon the recommendation of the commissioner of the director of that department, that is my recommendation and my motion. Do I have a second? That's Louis G. Johnson. Where is Amos, the meeting? Would you find out? Well, he needed to be here to answer the question. Pardon?
He had called this afternoon wanting to know how much we had in the District 5 road building, and he said he had something in his eye, and that if it didn't feel any better, he was not going to attend. I feared he would have. He had let Teen knew.
If he had let us know, we wouldn't have put this on the agenda for tonight.
Teen knew. She said he told her.
We wouldn't have put it on the agenda if we'd have known that he wasn't going to be here.
You want to pass that one till the next one?
Pass that one till the next meeting.
Okay. That's all the personnel, Judge. I got a county attorney's report, though. I got more business after
Go
that.
right ahead, Mr. County Attorney.
Judge, as you are aware, there's been an ongoing discussion about the Pike County or the Pike County Tourism Commission. The city of Pikeville elected to withdraw from that commission. As you're aware, there has been a 3% county tourism tax in effect since at least December the 15th, 1986. With the city withdrawing from the commission in order to clarify that the previously enacted 3% county tax would continue to be assessed and collected and given to the Pike County Tourism Commission, I've prepared the following order for the court's consideration. Whereas the City of Pikeville and the Pike County Fiscal Court had previously formed a joint tourism commission, and whereas the City of Pikeville has now elected to withdraw from the joint commission, and whereas the Pike County Fiscal Court desires to continue the Tourism Commission as a county commission, and whereas the Pike County Fiscal Court desires the successor commission to be known as the Pike County Tourism Commission and Convention Bureau, and to continue its operations as a countywide tourism and convention commission. And whereas the Pike County Fiscal Court has previously adopted a 3% hotel and motel tax, and whereas the Pike County Fiscal Court now desires for said tax to be directed to the Pike County Tourism and Convention Bureau, the Pike County Fiscal Court hereby approves continuation of the joint commission as the Pike County Tourism Commission and Convention Bureau, and hereby approves directing the hotel and motel room tax of 3% to fund the Pike County Tourism Commission and Convention Bureau, and hereby approves the Pike County Fiscal Court and/or the Pike County Tourism Commission and Convention Bureau to correct said tax. That is a proposed order. An explanation, the county ordinance of the previously enacted 3% tax would apply to both county motels and city hotels. This is a tax that's been in effect since 1986, and that this fiscal court is not enacting a new tax, but only directing that the existing 3% tax.
Collection of the tax.
Pardon?
The collection of the
Yeah,
tax.
just directing that the 3% tax previously enacted to be collected by the fiscal court and/or the Pike County Tourism Commission for its use.
I have a motion. You have a motion, have a second?
Who did the motion? Who was the motion?
Have a second, have a roll call vote, please.
Mr. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Johnson? Mr. Murphy? Mr. Robinson? Mr. Dodson?
No, don't want
Mr.
to vote for no
Harris.
more taxes.
Sorry.
This is no tax. This is no tax at all.
Retainer tax.
This is just a collection of tax that was passed in 1986.
Well, the city's gonna put on 3 more %.
That's, we can't control what the city does. We only control, we just want to make sure we get our money for our tourism commission.
Judge, I think just, and we talked about it previously, just for clarification purposes, this is nothing more than a continuation of what was already in existence.
That's correct.
Okay.
Yeah. Continue to call the roll, please.
Mr. Harris?
Yeah, I'm going to vote no, and I want to explain my vote, why I'm voting this way. I think that the Pike County Tourism Commission is correct, that it has the legal authority to impose the tax. The tax has been imposed, it's been in existence for a long time, and I don't think that Pikeville, the city of Pikeville, has the legal authority to break away and implement a new tax, basically doubling the amount of tax that's charged to every hotel room that's rented out in the city and in the city. It won't affect that out in the county. So I think that the Pike County Tourism Commission is correct. I think they have the legal right and the legal standing to prevail if the matter went to court. And so I think based on that, my vote is no.
Judge Rutherford?
Yes. Anybody else have any statement or anything to make? If not, have a motion to adjourn. Got a motion, a second. Have a roll call vote, please.
Mr. Anderson? Mr. Johnson? Mr. Murphy? Mr. Robinson? Mr. Dodson? Mr. Harris?
All right, Rose, just before we leave, I've got these 2 petitions that I mentioned earlier in the meeting. I'll just go ahead and submit those to you. One is Scarberry Road and the other, or one is Orchard Branch and the other is Willie Bevins Road.